Good day, people of YouTubes, and welcome to the opener of the Fried Chicken Super League 2020, where we will discuss the teams, we will discuss the players, we shall discuss the possible tactics, and we shall discuss how this league is going to work. So, without further ado, let us introduce formally the first team on the list, which is Mordecai's It's Dwarfs After All. So dwarves are a slow-moving defensive powerhouse and are considered, generally speaking, a real pain to deal with. They have fixed skulls, which means injury chances are lowered. They have armor values of 9, meaning you have to roll 10s or 9s for their weaker players, just to have a chance to knock them off the board. They all have block, which means they're slightly more difficult to deal with in combat, and also they have tackle, meaning that your dodges are less likely to work. They are the impenetrable wall in many ways, and if you can crack them, absolutely you can outrun them and score. But if you can't crack them and they are difficult to crack, it's gonna take some doing. So they also have Peanut's imaginary friend, which is the death roller, the strongest individual piece in the game as far as I'm aware. Can't hold the ball, and its only job is to knock down enemy players, which is amusing. But it will also, unless he can by bribes, be off the board the moment somebody scores. However, in their ideal case, they don't want to score in the first half. They'll try and score in the second. They want to keep this piece on the board for as long as possible. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, so they will be down a player once they get rid of him. As a consequence of this build, they're also down 1 reroll and do not have an apothecary. I've mentioned with my dwarf teams when I've ran them that you don't usually need an apothecary, but I'm always proved wrong when that happens. We'll see if that happens for Mordecai. He is a very good player. The Dwarfarium is where they will take place. He has humans for cheerleaders, and I'm fairly certain dwarves are an option. Or orcs, if you're feeling so inclined. But yeah, this team should be there or thereabouts. Once they start getting some skills, if they can get a couple of good runners with some agility increases or some pick up the ball skills, it can be very difficult to break down and knock them off. Moving to the old Ivy Groundhogs. Aegon has brought elves into my tournament yet again. High elves, of course, and they have all agility 4 and a good armor value of 8, generally speaking, with the exceptions of their catchers, who also have strength 3. They are one of the teams that does not have a strength reduction for their catch players. They, however, also have 8 movement. This is one of the faster teams, although not one of the faster teams in this league, as we will discuss later. Again, elf value being what it is, their players are expensive, their rerolls are expensive, however, he managed to squeeze 2 of those in, and will probably be focusing on an apothecary as soon as he can get away with it, because he has no spares. If he loses a player, it's gonna cost him. Especially if it's one of his more critical ones. If he can get enough games together to get some skills, this team will be very difficult to manage. I mean, elves by themselves, I mean, their linemen can play the ball if they have to. I mean, that's 3+ natural on every one of the ball checks. So that's pick up the ball, throw the ball, catch the ball. All 3+, as long as there's nobody around them. Short pass is also only a 2+ for them. And that's on their normal guys without considering the bonuses you've got here. Their throwers, or their pick up the ball players, say throw as well, so additional +1. Hold on, is that non-interception? I forget the rule, say throw, actually. Yeah, can't be intercepted. I mean, interceptions aren't a thing that typically happen anyway, but, you know, there were at least 3 in the last league we did. And getting top of that interception Hall of Fame is going to be worth it. Still. Oh, I didn't check what they're... Groundhog Field! And he's got human cheerleaders as well. Did nobody change their cheerleaders? That might also only be a thing with the newest... the Legendary Edition update, which I'm not sure who's got. Next, new player to the league. We have the Teletubbies Chaos Dwarves. Everything I've said about dwarves is true. However, they have a bit more flexibility. So absolutely, the Chaos Blockers are the impenetrable wall, but this is a wall that's only going to be in one place, likely the middle of the field. depending on how he wants to play this, he also has 4 normal players. They have agility 3. They can play the ball, but they have no skills other than that. They're basic human linesmen with a... I think human linesmen have speed 7 actually, but in terms of equivalencies, that's what they can do. But he has a good shot at playing the ball with these 4 hobgoblins. He also then has the Tubbies. 2 bull censures. They are, if they ever get the ball, and it's not a guaranteed that they will, they have agility 2, meaning it's a 5+ native to do any ball skills, though I think picking up is a natural +1, so 4+ to pick up the ball. With sprint and sure feet, so he has rerolls to his free going for it, meaning they have an effective movement of 9 if he wants to push it. Also fixed skull, which is standard dwarf fair to mean they're not going to be injured that easily. And an armor value 9 for all the dwarves, doesn't have to worry about that too much. He also has strength 4, so it depends. Whether he wants to use them in ball carrier capacity or bash the other player's capacity, they are a threat that needs to be reckoned with. Most likely, given he's gone for 4 hobgoblins, these will be sort of external to the wall and basically there to plug in gaps or wrap around and do some flanking shenanigans. Nevertheless, it is very much the bash. His team also, because of the cheap hobgoblin labour, has managed to fit 3 rerolls but does not have an apothecary yet. Admittingly, the only ones that's worried for are the hobgoblins, which are cheap enough to replace anyway. What skills do hobgoblins get? General and doubles for the rest. Okay, so they're not that skilled. Getting double for an agility would be useful, I guess, but yeah, they're not actually as dedicated ball carriers as they perhaps should be for the team. But again, that's probably why they're so cheap. Nevertheless, we have dwarfs, chaos dwarfs, and elves. But also, we have Amazons, whose worst enemy are dwarves because of their tackle. We made a few jokes about this, me and Vanna, when we were designing this team for her. However, this is a good all-round humanist team. All movement 6, strength, agility 3, and an armor value of only 7, meaning injuries on an 8+. But she's invested in the apothecary, so she should be able to dodge the most useful one of that. Every single one of her players has dodge. Dodge is negated by tackle, meaning against the dwarves, most of these are unskilled. But throw her 2 catchers, who again don't have a strength reduction for it, but do have the catch and dodge abilities. So one dedicated thrower, 2 dedicated catchers, and then 4 players with blodge. So they can only be knocked down on a 1 in 6 out of the dice that get rolled, and hopefully, provided they stay up, should be able to provide their own kind of mobile wall or dedicated shield for whoever the ball carrier happens to be. And then 4 standard linesmen, who, just comparing to the hobgoblins, I suppose, are only 10k more, so maybe. They, however, have... oh no, they only get general as well. The blitzers have access to strength, and then I imagine these have the agility access. Yeah. And then you have passing rather than agility access. Okay. Fairly standard team layout here. They are probably the most normal of the teams that we've got in this tournament in terms of how they should function. So, general plays... thrower, split to one of the 2 catches on the wings, bash through the centre or bash through the wing, use a bit of manoeuvrability. They're annoyingly, they shouldn't be, but they're one of the slower teams in this tournament, as we will get to in a few moments. Because all of the speed teams are there. But first, Judgment Time! Are my undead team, in black and white referees colours, of course, because gotta be. All your mistakes will be noted. And I will be basically doing my usual commentary, usually post, just basically going over the replays of every game in this league as we go through it. It's a fairly typical undead team. 2 mummies. Mummies are among the best of the big guys in the league. Regeneration and already starting with Mighty Blow. So additional injury chances abound from there. I don't think they have... nope, they don't have access to mutations. So they can't get the epic combo of Claw, Mighty Blow. But they are still rather good. No real drawbacks other than their low speed and strength 5 in the middle. So it's going to take a bit of dealing with them, in all honesty. Supporting them, we have 2 wights, who are fairly typical. Good high armoured people, all-rounders, with block, and of course the all-important regeneration. Regeneration is important, because I have 2 pieces which do not have it. So these 2 are not affected by the whole necromancy or regeneration. Actually, let's regeneration for a bit. So basically, they have a half chance of ignoring their injuries and just coming straight back onto the pitch. They're extremely durable. These characters, however, can die because they are not dead. They're also arguably my most important pieces because, as you can see, I don't have any agility. Whites, I mean all-rounders, but that's not their job. These are movement 7, agility-free, dodging people, and I'll be wanting them to score my touchdowns. And also try to stay out of trouble against the dwarven walls and things. We then have our usual array of undead mix here. Now, zombies versus skeletons is a bit of a weird one. Zombies have higher native armor, but are slower. Skeletons, faster, have thick skull, which means they're less likely to be stunned, but are more likely to be injured overall. The way I'm probably going to play this is that Secretly Hates You All is probably going to be my dirty player. So he's going to be kicking players when they're down and trying to remove pieces from the board. The zombies, though, are there for cannon fodder. Also, as we're an undead team, if we can kill a player who is strength 4 or less, does not have regeneration or stunty, we can get additional zombies. And I think in my sort of guide, zombies are slightly better than skeletons, though a couple of them still useful. We may see how this goes. But this is the team that should do well. It is very much a bash-orientated team with very dedicated players that they're going to be targeted because they are the people who are playing the ball. But mind you, the whites could easily do the job as well. I have no agility skills to really speak of, but we'll see how that goes. We might get lucky with some doubles and get some ability to do this. The other dead team is Take a Look at This! A Resident Evil themed team in our city Fallout zone. Again, human cheerleaders. What did I pick for cheerleaders, actually? Now, see, I went for orc cheerleaders because I didn't discriminate. See, we got dwarfs. I should have had comments about the cheerleaders, and I'm certainly going to deserve comments about orc and cheerleaders. Still. Actually, what did Vanna go with? I've not been checking things. They have them all, and again, humans. Darn it. Still, the team roster. It is the necromantic rather than the undead team, and they usually have to make a decision between wights, ghouls, werewolves, and flesh golems. Now, you can do a bit of an all-rounder. Flesh golems are strength 4 and are similar to the mummies in many ways, but not. They're a little faster than the mummies, not obviously as strong, but equally regenerating high-strength walls that provide a bit of punch to the lineup. Again, he's got a very similar way that I am set up in terms of white ghouls, zombies. I don't think he has access to skeletons, actually, so doesn't have that decision to make. Does, however, have access to werewolves, who are high speed, movement 8, armor 8, and can actually do a similar job to the ghouls, or can be used for Frenzy Claw. Frenzy Claw, high movement, means this is a unit. This is a piece well designed to surfing players off the board. If you have a loose player and a werewolf is in range, you may be losing him from the game temporarily. Frenzy, however, has something that has to be worked around because if they push, they have to make a second attack straight away, and this can lead them to trap themselves into unwinnable combats and cause turnovers. But we'll see how Kyril manages them. Either way, depending on how those wolves upgrade, could potentially be very strong and very good contenders for top scorers. They are the second fast. I mean, movement 8 is already ridiculously fast. If they get a movement boost on that, they're matching gutter runners. And we all know how gutter runners can be. Certainly one player who knows how gutter runners can be is Slime Boy, who has again brought the gutter stride returns. He used a spare 10k to buy a cheerleader, so he's going to get some kickoff events, or at least a +1 to some of them. 3 rerolls, Apothecary, and a Skaven team with a spare player. So what he has done here is he sacrificed a spare player, an Apothecary, and a cheerleader for... I don't know if we could have extra Storm Vermin. I doubt he could have a Rat Ogre, but he could have built himself up towards that, actually. Still, Skaven having a spare player is probably a good idea. In the main, they are movement 7, armor 7, and basically similar to the Amazon lineswomen, except obviously a bit faster. This is all... This is a team all about speed and all about whether their agility 4 dodging gutter runners can sneak their way to victory. Skaven, as I've mentioned before, if they have a gutter runner anywhere near the end zone, can score from any situation. They can play the ball. They have the agility to do gutter runner pass plays. He has a thrower as a backup option for that as well, with obviously skills that help him pick up the ball. An important skill that will become relevant throughout most of the rest of this league, I'm sure. If the Skaven start doing well, they can be unstoppable. The problem is, this game hates Skaven with an absolute passion, and they will probably get beaten up like no tomorrow. But may still win. They may be beaten, bloodied into a pulp. They may only have 3 players left at the end, but they can still win with those 3 players. And this is why Skaven are both the best and the worst team in Blood Bowl. I love them. But I will destroy them, because I love them. And finally, Talon with the Silvery Blue Horde. And in fact, this is a Silvery Blue Horde of Lizardmen. A lot of what I've said about Skaven applies to half of their team. This is another high-speed team with 4 skinks. They may only have strength 2, they may be titchy, but they are dodge and agility 3 and movement 8. 4 high-speed movers behind a wall of admittingly unskilled, but strength 4, high-armored Saurus warriors. I might have been inclined to switch to 5 and 5 because ultimately, as good as the bash is, the skinks ultimately will have to try and win the game for you, and because of that, they get targeted. Going 5 and 5 might have been better. They are protected, however, by Cohen the Barbarian. Valona Mighty Blowed Prehensile-tailed Bonehead with strength 5 and potential to do a lot of pain. This is the atypical big guy in the team, and I think he has most of the downsides that you'd associate, but Prehensile Tail also helps against dodging attempts if he gets to place them on the defense. Mighty Blow, more injuries of course, but Bonehead is probably one of the worst ones. 1 in 6. Actually, no. Really stupid actually does have other effects, because you have to get people nose to them. That's just a flat 1 in 6. Still, I'm sure Cohen will either die very quickly, because this always seems to happen to big guys in this league, or go on to be the unstoppable killing machine that we know him to be. So, that is the league. The way the tournament will work: it'll be a round robin of the 7 players. The top 4 finishers will go into the winner group. The bottom 4 finishers will go into the loser group. In the winner group, the top player will go straight to the grand final and be considered the league champion. The players who finish 2nd and 3rd in this league will advance to the finals, which is basically a 4-team cup to determine who will face off in the grand final. The loser group also has something to fight for. The top 2 of the loser group will also go through to this same competition. The winner of that will go into the finals, and the grand final, of course, the winner of the league and the winner of the cup will face off for the Super League Grand Championship. So, 8 teams, potentially 13 games for glory. That's looking good for the Skaven. If they go through the loser group, win that, go through the finals, go to the grand final, 13 games, it's a good number. But let us see if I can remember how to actually start this darn league. Okay, go into there, competition settings, 4 minutes, open with validation, gameplay, aging, enhancement, resurrection, that's all fine. That's all fine. We did allow mixed teams, but I was the only one who seemed to be wanting to use one, so we decided that was fine. We will then press the start competition button. Week 1 has begun. We have Chiral versus Talon. We have Slime Boy versus Shadowhawk. We have the Dwarfs versus the Amazons. And we have the High Elves against the Chaos Dwarfs. Format of the round will be a simple match, and we will see how this progresses. So, I will record each of the games, as I say, in post or live if I can catch them at the same time. And they will all be uploaded on my channel. They might decide to upload their own games if they want. They're perfectly willing to do that. But mine will probably start off in 2020 itself. We'll see if I can sort of stay ahead of things this time, get things organised and keep things going. So, obviously the leaderboard is all important as well, at least in terms of all of the various things that you can be president for. So, Shadowhawk 2012, the Super League has begun. Until then.